Let's just get right into it, because if you are only using basic prompt elements in isolation, you are quite literally leaving a massive amount of your AI model's capability on the table. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into some source material that completely shifts how we interact with large language models. We are moving way past the basics of just throwing simple one-off commands at a prompt box, and we're going to learn how to engineer highly sophisticated responses simply by stacking our strategies. I mean, you probably already know how to give a direct instruction, right? Or maybe you've played around with assigning a role to an AI. But the real magic, that happens when we start treating these techniques like puzzle pieces. Why limit your AI's potential by only handing it one piece at a time? Think about it. When you just use an instruction, sure, the AI might get the job done, but it's probably going to lack the right tone. And if you just give it a role, it might sound fantastic, but totally miss the actual goal of your task. It's when we bring these elements together that we finally stop getting generic, run-of-the-mill answers and start getting absolute precision.
Think of this as creating a structural blueprint for your AI. Combining prompting techniques is really all about integration. We're taking context, instructions, and examples and weaving them into one single cohesive prompt to tackle highly complex tasks. It completely removes the ambiguity. You're giving the model the boundaries, the tone, the background info, and the exact steps all at the exact same time. That way, it doesn't act like some confused intern trying to guess what you actually want.
So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, we'll cover the power of combining. Then we'll look at combining role and instruction, followed by context, instructions, and examples. And finally, we'll wrap up with some prompting best practices.
All right, jumping into section 1, the power of combining and how we unlock your AI's full potential.
Layering our prompts gives us 3 absolutely massive benefits. First up is enhanced task understanding. This gives the AI multiple reference points. It's kind of like giving a driver both a map and a compass. Second, we get nuanced outputs. These match your highly specific needs rather than just giving you a generic web scrape. And finally, greater accuracy. Because providing context alongside concrete examples actually helps the AI recognize patterns, which delivers way more reliable results.
Moving on to section 2, combining role and instruction to nail tone and structure.
Notice the layered approach here. We don't just say, hey, summarize the Civil War. Instead, we assign a role. You are a historian specializing in the American Civil War. Doing that actually primes the AI's internal weights to favor academic, historically accurate language. Then we layer in the instruction. Write a brief summary of the key events and outcomes. Because of that specific combination, the output is perfectly structured, beautifully toned, and sounds exactly like an authoritative expert. It's a total game changer.
Which brings us to section 3, context, instructions, and examples. This is where we create the few-shot blueprint.
Now, as tasks get more complex, we have to start by laying down explicit context. We tell the AI directly, Twitter is a platform for tweets. Tweets can be positive or negative, and we want to classify them accurately. We aren't just assuming the AI knows our goals. We're setting the stage to eliminate all that guesswork, making absolutely sure it understands the environment of the data it's about to process. Okay, next we add our few-shot examples. This gives the AI a strict, highly accurate blueprint to follow for its output format. We show it exactly what a question looks like and exactly what an answer looks like. We give it a positive example, like, what a beautiful day, paired with the answer positive. Then we flip it and give a negative example. I hate this class, paired with negative. We are literally training the model within the prompt itself, demonstrating the exact pattern we expected to replicate. So, now for the final test. We provide the input, I love pockets on jeans, and we leave the answer blank. Because we layered the context, the instruction, and those formatting examples, the AI doesn't write a long, rambling paragraph explaining why pockets are useful. Nope. It perfectly outputs just the word positive. It nailed the execution simply because we gave it the exact blueprint to follow.
Let's head into our final section, section 4, prompting best practices. This is your framework for success.
So how do we actually implement this day to day? Well, step 1, start simple. Try combining just a role and an instruction first to see how the model reacts. Step 2, use clear examples. Make absolutely sure they are directly relevant to your task. Otherwise, you're just going to confuse the AI. Step 3, be specific to remove ambiguity. Keep your instructions incredibly focused. And finally, step 4, experiment and refine. Look, your first prompt is rarely your best. Just tweak your building blocks based on what the AI gives back to you. Now that you have the blueprint, it's time to start stacking those building blocks. Think about a really complex problem you've been struggling to get an AI to solve. If you were to layer a specific role, clear context, direct instructions, and a few perfect examples, what could you achieve? The potential is absolutely massive once you stop using these tools in isolation. So I'll leave you with this. What combinations will you experiment with next to unlock your AI's true power? Thanks for joining this explainer.